Okay, let's go. Mick Renshaw, Rob McGard, Richard Jordan and I met up for a 3 to 4 day adventure from the Victorian Upper Howqua region over Mt Howitt to Vallejo Gantner Hut, across the Crosscut Saw, Mount Buggery, Mount Speculation, Catherine Saddle, over Mount Despair, the Razor, the Viking, Barry Saddle, out to Harry Shepherd's Track.
This is a crosscut saw, Richard.
Oh yeah.
We follow the ridge of that all the way along. The one in the distance is Mount Speculation. We travel to the east from there, and you can see a funny anvil-shaped hill on the left. That's the Razor. We go to the right of that, in the gully, which is Viking Saddle, and then to the right there's another funny peak, and that's the Viking.
Wow.
Climbing constantly for some hours, we finally reach the top. Relief. So what do you got there? What are you eating, Dickie?
Oh, some soup Kathy gave me. Don't bother. Not very nice. I saw your soup and I thought I should have had that.
We won't tell Kathy, promise.
Having a great meal here.
Yeah,
the old chicken tikka masala.
Tomato and basil soup. You probably can't see it from there, but it is delicious with a bit of Turkish bread dumped in the top like dumplings.
Now look, my highlight today was I think you guys had the confidence in me to lead off for the first 20 minutes, even though we're going up the wrong trail. You still let me lead.
Dickie was leading, and we always follow the leader, so I'm sorry. But Dickie, you did take us up the wrong track.
I could stop and check the GPS how it's per track, but Dickie knows the way.
400 metres in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And we'd like to blame you, Richard, but it's a bit hard to do that since we've got the GPS.
Both been there before.
It looked a bit like an animal track. I'd say that was a small lizard.
He just
saw a tail.
He was big actually.
This way, boys.
Oh, this way. Yeah. Some blokes believe easy, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Little odd. Until you worked out that it's probably time to tell him we're going up the wrong trail. And then you still let me lead on after that. So that was a pretty good highlight to me.
Well, just being in this wonderful area, walking with two great friends. It was tough, I have to admit. I started to feel it halfway up.
Coming over the summit at the top of Mt Howitt was just awesome. The shot we have on camera, which hopefully comes out well, was a beautiful silhouette of each who was coming over the rise.
But once we got over the summit, absolutely spectacular views. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable.
You want my low light?
Yeah, low light, yeah.
Well, being lied to. River crossings.
Well, you asked me, are there any river crossings? And I said no. Well, there are only 7.
So originally I thought we were hoping we could drive another 2.5 kilometres up, but they've closed the track off, so must have been a while ago, because it's been a while since I've been here.
That's pretty dodgy information.
It's dodgy information. I said I should have rung ahead.
So Richard asked me the other day, should I bring my water shoes? And I said, no, we're not doing any river crossings. Rolling, 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 rolling. What could happen? I'm not sure. Oh, there are only 7.
Only 7.
The biggest low point for the day has been Rob not being able to make it.
Hey, where's Rob?
Oh, Rob. He had a blowout.
Didn't want to use his car.
We're all with you there, Rob. Hopefully we might see you tomorrow. We don't know.
We have a big challenge today. Don't know what it is, I'll find out as we go along.
We've got a few storms coming in, so they reckon they're going to be in around 2 o'clock. It's about 10 to 8 at the moment, so we're hoping we can get to camp and set up over on Mount Speculation before the rain hits.
We've moved along very well. Dickie's been leading again. We haven't got lost today.
Oh boy. They don't call it Mount Buggery for nothing.
No. It's hard work all the way through, especially with a solid pack full of good gear.
Well, we've just loaded up with lunch and water. We've got 10 kilo of water and food on board, because we're going tonight and we don't get water again till tomorrow night. Big day. We've got a big day tomorrow, about 8 hours. Hope Trevor can keep up. As a tour leader, you know, it's up to me. You know?
It is. You're the man. We're headed down to Catherine Saddle, down this old riverbed, about 4 kilometres. It's a beautiful walk actually, apart from it gets very rocky part way through.
It was actually a very enjoyable day, up to speculation. It was really good pace, it was nicely timed. The last 4.5 kilometres was very tough.
The highlight will be that I finally get to use my wet weather gear because it's just starting to rain, and I've just got my lovely little jacket, and we made it here early and we got set up, had to eat everything before it rained.
That's a pretty cool tent, Mick.
Yeah, it's hasn't had too much use yet, only been out about 5 times, but very impressed with it so far.
So it's a Z-Pack?
Duplex.
Duplex.
So it's a single skin tent.
Yeah.
I think it's about close to 700 grams basically.
Yeah. So how do you reckon your feet are going to be for tomorrow? A big climb tomorrow?
Yeah, well,
just
stick with it.
See. Yeah.
Grit my teeth, I think, and just hopefully it'll be all good.
We had a massive lightning and thunder sort of display last night. It was quite
entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining. It was nice having it sitting on the roof, so we got to bed quite early.
I even got a shower in the rain last night, which was good.
We're going to make our way up to Mount Despair here, across the Razor, down into Viking Saddle, up the Chimney through to the peak of the Viking, and hopefully Richard and I will continue on to Barry Saddle for the night. Trevor's looking at probably getting up to the top of the Viking and then maybe heading back here. He's left his tent set up here, so he's going to try and make it out and back today, so good on him.
We're just rolling over the top of Mount Despair. It's been a nice climb up, steep at the start, and the rest of it was quite pleasant. Pretty much like climbing 1,000 steps really.
Admiring the fantastic view here of the Razorback. Is that it?
Of the Razor.
Razor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Starting. We got that. Real Spider-Man. The Razor was wet and slippery, but no problem since Mick and I were very familiar with this tricky section. groveling his way through. The Viking looked monstrous from Viking Saddle.
Wow.
Richard looked stunned on first view.
What do you mean we're climbing up there?
Yeah.
Swallowed, chewed his lip for a few seconds, and then led the charge. So we're probably close on 30-35 degrees, I suppose. As far as we know, climbing the chimney is the only way to the Viking summit. And that is where we have come from. And this is Mick climbing up through the chimney.
Really good handholds, I wouldn't trust that too much. And Richard coming up through the second chimney. It's a bit of a tight squeeze here. Now that is a tight squeeze.
Richard summited first and claimed that he smashed my all-time record by a second or two.
It's not the record.
Record!
This is one of the most remote and isolated locations, most magnificent, with 360-degree views.
Well, I've come to the end where we're going to say goodbye to Trev. Trev's going to head back to pick his car up. So I'd just like to say to you guys, thanks very much for the 4 days. I've learned so much, you know, about hiking.
Fantastic walk.
Big one.
Thanks, Trevor.
Several months later at this same location, who turned up? None other than the great Robbie McGart. So Rob too has seen the mighty Viking and beyond. On the top of the Viking, and a bit of ice on the back of your tent there.
Yeah.
It was cold last night.
Yeah, we've come down from, what was that place again, Mick?
The Viking.
The Viking, and it's quite a treacherous
run down, very steep,
I'll let you keep going.
slippery.
Holy crap. What was that, Diggy? Holy what? Sorry about that, folks, but this is not... you won't be able to pick up the steepness of it through the camera. Big boulder going down the track. Under below! Geez, that's still going.
We did it pretty well, but poor old Mick, with his big blister on his toe, did it really hard. But we're here now and had tea and just kicking back and ready to shoot off tomorrow.
Meanwhile, I started playing with snakes as I headed down the Viking south side, along the Razor, over Despair to Catherine Saddle, but did not stop to camp as I was out of water. So I continued on to Speculation, leaving just one hard day's hike back to Upper Howqua and the car.
Hey, we made it, Dickie.
Yep.
That was a great walk.
It
Like
was.
tough in some ways. We did over 3,000 metres climbing. Poor old Trev's still heading back there. We just came through a bit of sort of hail and sleet.
Yeah.
I'd just like to thank Sue and Connor for dropping the car off. It's great they got it all the way up here. Saves us another 6k walk down to where it could have been.
Been a great walk, great crew to come with.
Fantastic 4 days. Can't believe it. Everyone should do it. It's amazing.
It's been snowing all night and the tent walls were just covered in snow. Had to knock it off a few times. Found it hard to find the trail and had a hell of a walk back to Upper Howqua. Oh my goodness, it's very, very cold. Got to find the track out of here. It's hailing at the moment, hitting me on the side of the face. The trail was very hard to follow, and over Mt Howitt the snow was quite deep. Approaching the first of the 7 Howqua River crossings, I found that the water had risen a little and the river rocks were completely covered. What a great trip that was. Quite challenging, a lightning and thunderstorm, snow and hail, 1 copperhead, over 3,000 metres of climb, amazing views, a little pain and great company. I think we'll be back. Thanks Mick, Dickie and Rob.